The afternoon sun filtered through the somewhat dusty blinds of the Connor household, casting long shadows across the living room where Bill Miller sat anchored in his favorite recliner. The familiar blue flicker of the television set was the only light in the room, reflecting off his glasses as he watched the news with a mixture of awe and restless energy. Outside, the world was in a state of upheaval, and even from the safety of his sagging cushions, Bill felt the pull of history. "Oh man," Bill muttered, his voice dropping into that low register he used for profound social observations. "This share the wealth protest has me all jacked up. I would be down there right now yelling, 'Eat the 1% with the rest of my people,' if I was not in this COVID death window." Judy Miller leaned against the kitchen doorframe, a dish towel draped over her shoulder and a dry, practiced smirk on her face. "Your people, Bill?" She countered with a light chuckle. "Your people had kids that made these people. You are not a revolutionary. You are a grandfather who still thinks a remote control is high technology." "Hey, I have never lost my taste for social justice," Bill defended, sitting up with a slight groan of his back. "I let my freak flag fly. Check it out. 3 piercings in one ear. It is kind of hard to see because I let 2 of them close up years ago, but the rebellious spirit remains. My mother said I looked like a whore back when I got them, which was basically a badge of honor in my day." Becky walked through the room then, looking like she had been dragged through a very long and very unrewarding shift at the factory. Bill did not miss a beat. "Hey, I thought someone was going to call the exterminator to set a trap for this thing." "Come on, Becky," Judy interjected, trying to play the rare role of peacemaker in a house built on sarcasm. "We are sisters and we are bigger than this. Forget that I got your pay docked, and come over here and braid my hair like you used to at our summer chateau by the lake." "Could you just stop for 1 second? Darlene snapped, emerging from the hallway with her eyes glued to a news broadcast on her phone. "Society problems are a lot more important than your stupid sibling fights." "I cannot hear the reporter." "Shut up. You shut up." Becky and Judy shouted back in unison, their sibling rivalry momentarily merging into a singular wall of noise that drowned out the television entirely. "Well, I have a different perspective on all this," Bill declared, standing up with a theatrical gravity that suggested he was about to deliver a State of the Union address. "As a former magazine publisher and a proud member of the 1%, I feel that." "Are you out of your damn mind?" Judy interrupted, her eyes narrowing as she looked at her husband. "You know how much money you have to make to be part of the 1%? 1% isn't a specific thing, Darlene," Bill said, waving a hand dismissively as if the facts were merely suggestions. "It is just a general idea, a vibe of excellence." "No, it is not," Judy countered flatly. "It is an actual number. The lowest you can make and be a part of the 1% is $254,000 a year if you live in Mississippi." She let out a sharp, triumphant laugh. "Haha, Bill, you are not even a rich person in Mississippi. You are barely a rich person in this basement." "If I ever get back into the 1%, Bill grumbled, sinking back into his chair with a pout that made him look remarkably like a giant toddler, "I am going to oppress all you people so hard. You won't even know what hit you." A moment later, Dan Miller walked in, holding a small notebook and looking far too energized for a man of his age on a Saturday. "Okay, last call for rent. Come on, cough it up. Papa has got his eye on a new fur for the winter." Judy handed him a small stack of bills with a resigned sigh. "Thank you," Dan said, giving her a quick, appreciative wink. "Are they still protesting out there? All their marching around just clogs up the streets so nobody can get downtown." "Dad, you haven't been to downtown Chicago in 30 years, Darlene noted without looking up from her screen. "Well, I cannot go if the streets are blocked." "I want to go," Dan retorted with a grin. "Grandpa," Darlene said, finally pocketing her phone, "they are blocking the streets to fight a corrupt system designed to keep the working class down. It is about the principle of the thing." "Hey, if you pay Mr. Working Class here the rent," Dan joked, pointing to Bill, "he can buy me a pound cake, and we can eat it in bed later." "How long you have been sitting on that idea?" Bill asked, sounding genuinely curious about the logistics of bedroom pound cake. Dan shrugged his massive shoulders. "Long enough. I haven't been to work yet to get my paycheck, so I am a little short. I will get it later, but could you guys please stop? I am trying to listen to the news." "No, I gotta do one thing first," Bill said, grabbing the remote back. "I want to see the final round of Jeopardy." "Hey, who is Apollo Creed? Come on, that is a gimme." When the corporations start kidnapping all you poor people and using you to colonize Mars, I am gonna laugh from my 1% fortress." He paused for a second, his expression turning to sudden, quiet worry as a thought occurred to him. Crap, that is actually gonna happen, isn't it? Damn it. Later that afternoon, Bill caught up with Becky in the break room at the Wellman factory. The atmosphere was somber, the air thick with the smell of industrial grease and cheap coffee. "Hey Becky, thanks for the visitor pass. Did you sell a lot of sandwiches today?" "Oh yeah, crushed it," Becky replied, looking triumphant despite her exhaustion. When you have got a building full of depressed people trying to eat their feelings, you can charge whatever you want for a stiffening ham and cheese sandwich. "You want one?" "Sure. Thanks," Bill said, taking a bite and chewing thoughtfully. "Oh my God. Juanita, man. We worked together here back in the day. This place never changes, does it?" "Yeah," Becky nodded, leaning against a vending machine. "Online poker. Still gotta work." "Oh well, this takes me back. This is where your mother and I hid after we dropped our pants and pressed ham against the lobby window. My side of the window was unlocked and I fell out." "Yeah, I saw it." Bill laughed through a mouthful of dry bread. "We just got off the bus for the school tour when they did it. And that is why we did it. Thanks for that, by the way. It made me super popular for exactly 15 minutes. Damn it, I gotta call Beverly Rose," Becky said, checking her watch with a frown. "Lunch break is almost over." "Oh hey, Emilio." "Hi, Beverly Rose." Becky cooed into her phone, her face softening instantly as the image of her baby appeared on the screen. Just then, Robin, the managing supervisor, walked into the room. Robin was a woman whose presence usually felt like a cold draft under a door, sharp and unwanted. "Robin," Becky said, her voice dropping into a flat, defensive tone. "Look, honey, it is the horrible woman who docks my pay when I see you." "Hi, cutie," Robin said coolly to the phone screen, ignoring Becky's jab. "Make better choices than mommy." She then clapped her hands for attention, the sound echoing off the metal lockers. "Okay, everyone, listen up. New policy at Wellman. Everyone will be required to provide urine under supervision for random drug screenings." The room erupted in immediate, hushed protests. "Two questions," Bill called out, raising a hand. "What do you mean under supervision? And do you consider a drug something that grows, naturally behind your garage?" "Supervision means a stranger is going to watch you take your pants down and urinate into a cup," Robin answered, her voice void of any emotion or empathy. "Wow, way to sell it, Robin," Judy remarked from the back of the room, her arms crossed tightly. "I am not trying to sell it," Robin said, her gaze sweeping the room. "I think it is wrong and I am not going to do it. You all have to do what your conscience tells you. I am quitting. I have enjoyed working with all of you. Except Becky." As Robin marched out of the break room, the air buzzed with scandalous energy. "I cannot believe Robin is quitting over a drug test," Bill said, leaning toward Judy. "If I made the kind of money she made, I would pop a squat on the pitcher's mound at Wrigley Field. It is obvious she is not clean. What do you think she is on? Peruvian marching powder? Horse with no name? Lucy in the sky with diamonds? Some of that stuff will make you show your ass and fall out a window. I will tell you that much," Bill added, shaking his head in disbelief. Back at the Miller house, the kitchen was a battlefield of culinary proportions. Jackie stood over the stove, looking like she was ready to go on strike from life itself. "Why are you taking back all the twigs and leaves that help us forget what we are eating?" Dan asked as he walked in and saw her packing up her spices. "I am tired of busting my ass cooking for you people," Jackie snapped, her eyes flashing. "Not only do they not appreciate it, but they complain about them. The other day, I used peppercorns. Darlene picked them all out and said something pooped in my soup." "I understand," Dan said, raising his hands in a gesture of surrender. "We are Philistines. Did I use that word right?" "Look, Dan," Jackie sighed, her anger deflating into weary exhaustion. "I gotta go home. I am used to living alone, and there are just too many people here. I am in the shower, and Becky comes in to use the bathroom. And then I am using the bathroom, and Harris comes in to brush her teeth. Did you know that? Now I am flossing in the closet just to get some peace. Who can I kill? I will thin out the herd for you," Dan offered with a small, sympathetic smile. "Oh, Dan," Jackie said, her voice softening as she looked at him. We talked about this. You knew I would have to go home eventually." "Yeah," Dan admitted, leaning against the counter. "But I did not think you would actually follow through on it." If I followed through on everything I said I was going to do, I would be nothing but muscle, and we would be sleeping on gold right now. In the living room, Bill was pointing at the television screen again, his face red with a different kind of frustration. Look at that wall of moms out there protecting their kids at the front of the protest line. I mean, they are out there taking beanbag rounds to the face, and you won't even get up to get me a soda. Harris looked at him from the doorway, her expression entirely unimpressed. That is because their kids are out there protesting, Grandpa, not leading the Occupy the Couch and bitch movement. You want me to go out there? Bill asked, his voice rising an octave in a challenge he didn't expect to be taken. Well, all I am saying is you are laying there and whining about us not doing anything, Harris said, stepping into the room. If this was really that important to you, you would be out there with everybody else. Bill stared at her for a long moment. He looked at the television, then back at his granddaughter, his eyes narrowing. Okay, wait, you are really going? Harris asked, her surprise evident as Bill actually started to climb out of his chair. You are right, Bill said, grabbing his jacket from the hook. I mean, I am being a hypocrite just sitting there while everybody else is out there changing things. All right, well, Harris cautioned, trying to hide her pride. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. And if anything goes down, you just yell I am pregnant and run into a bookstore. No one is looting bookstores. See you on television, Grandpa. Dan walked into the room just as Bill was closing the front door with a determined click. Wow. Well, I didn't see that coming. You actually inspired your father to go out and stand up for what he believes in. Yeah, that was pretty cool, Harris admitted, a small, genuine smile playing on her lips. I was just trying to make him feel bad. No rush, Dan said, turning to Darlene who had followed him in. But could you write me a check for the rent while I stand here and stare at you? Already done, Darlene replied, pulling a slip of paper from her pocket. I gave it to Louise while she was shaving her legs in the shower. Oh, and Harris is going to have a problem covering her share this month. Why? Dan Hoy, his brow furrowing with immediate concern. Because she texted me this morning that she doesn't want to go back to work until the protest is over, Darlene explained. And her boss said that if she is not there tomorrow, he is going to let her go. Damn it. Darlene, you got to talk some sense into that kid, Dan sighed, rubbing his temples. Yeah, and hung Dad. This is the only time in her life that she can do something like this, Darlene argued. She wants to have her voice heard. And I get it. Look, maybe I can cover her part of the rent. This is all your fault, Dan told Bill as he walked back in for his keys. You made her think she was special. Where did you get that? Bill asked, his indignation returning. Did Kong-Fi get it from me? I made a point of never telling any of you kids you were special. And yet somehow, Chung-Twa are all successful and happy anyway. Now New Ban will excuse me. I have to get back to the Senate. Becky caught up with Robin in the factory parking lot later that evening. I need to talk to Ban Cho MOT Minute, Becky said, her breath visible in the chilly air. New Ban have got a knife. I have got a butadiene, Robin replied without turning Sung Kwan. I am Kong-Fi Day to stab Ban v everyone se beat it was me, Becky said, stepping into her path. Look, I beat Tai Saw Ban are quitting. I told Ban Tai Saw I am quitting, Robin said, finally stopping and facing her with those cold, sharp eyes. Did Ban? Becky challenged, her voice steady. Would Ban know something cock knew I told Ban I am a recovering alcoholic? Robin looked at her Cho MOT long beat, the industrial lights of the parking lot flickering above them. I would NOI co no secrets Tren MOT assembly line. And Ban are the bond person to tell me that Ban are MOT kunat ruo. Gossip la cruel and hung gak nin shinzak. I am Dave V as much as I don't tick Ban, new Ban co MOT addiction problem. Ban can to go to meetings, Becky NOI chan ton. And ISE go voy Ban new I co to. Wow, Robin NOI, her icy facade cracking CU MOT chut. Tai saw our Ban offering to help me. Cha, Cho MOT. Ban la sep qua toi and I plan to teep TUC to be MOT tuk su marginal nan veen. Becky Dua, trying to lighten the mood. That la MOT given. And I got Mang Tai and Deco to get 10 Tao Cho baby qua toi. And I loan gi nu ko ai du de gi jup du toi. I chuk la de dung li som han. Darlene NOI si vi ko roy. Ko unma. Robin hit MOT hoy that sao. Toi kong gi vik de tran by kim tra ma tui v, toi la MOT nuoi angian dao, Becky. Toi la nuoi chiang gioi. Doi mat Becky MO2. Wow. Mot Buik Ngoat Bat Ngio. Got Ko de Hu Tai Sa Twa Kong Thoi Mai Voi Vik, Kim Tra Ko Jiam Sat Roy Chu, Robin Noi. Twa Hon Ton Hu, Becky Noi Ki. Ko Kong Nun by Buik Fight Song Kai Nu Ko Kong Yuan. O Kong, Robin Din Chin. Twadat Song Kai Tu Rat Lao Roy. Tat Ca Kak Ong Chong Kwa Twa Du Beat, Ban Bi Twa Beat, Jia Din Twa Beat. Chi La and Hung Nuoi Kong Beat Va Kong Can Beat Thoi. Du Kong Quan Trong Voi Team Jiat La Kwa Twa. Va No Kong Kong Quan Trong O Noi Lam Vik. And Hung That Kong Song Bang Kai Ko Phi Gi Vik. No Kong Dang Da by Chan Thuong Tom Lymot Lon Nua, Robin Noi. Du Zara Rat Nu Trong Song Dong Kwa Chung Twa. And Hung Bo Phim Nu Ace Ventura. Noi Tat Ca Dan Ong Du Non Mua Vi Fat Hien Ra Nuoi, Fu Nu La Nuoi Chien Gioi. No Kong Keen Ban Muon Chia Se Moi Thursday. Ko La Ho Non Mua Vi Ho Nan Ra Min Dang Dong Phim Ace Ventura Day. Becky Goi Y. Keen Robin Bat Koi Mot Catch Him Hoi. Moi Nuoi Du Get Y Tuong Keen Tra Matui Ko Jiam Sat. Chung Twa Se Dao Tran. Twa Kong Muon, Robin Noi Kin Quiet. Twa Da Chien Dao Du Roy. Phi Mat Mot Han Trin Dai Twa Moi Ko Duok Su Han Fuck, Nai Va Kong Dang De Quay Lai Bong Toi. Twa Hu Becky Noi. And Hung Ko Beat Chung, Twa Van Se Dao Tran. Dung Kong? Ko De Tin Tao Duok Bao Lao Roy. Han Mot Nam, Becky Tra Loy. Cam On Vida Hoi. Twa Hoi Vi Twa Muon Zem Ko On Din Din Muc Now, Robin Noi. Twa Vo Tin Tuong Jiao Cho Ko Mot Ju Rat Riang Tu. O Twa Kong Phi Lakio Nat Ruadu Becky Koi. Twa Chin Gavoy Rat Nu Thoi. Ratat Noi Chuyen. Trong San Sao, Jackie Dang Zep and Hung Mon Du Koi Kung Veo Xi. Twadi Day, Ko Noi Voi Dan. Nay Nai, Twa Ko De Thursday Gi Du Trong Tu Lan Cho Ko Day, Dan Noi. And Hung Beat Jia Din Nai Ti, Chik Gio, No Chi Con Lot Side Thoi. And Hung Nu Twa Kong Gaduok Ti Sa. Jackie Hoi. Twada Quen Voi Vik, Quan Tron Ben On Roy. Ko Se On Thoi, Dan Tran and Co. Cu Zim Chuang Trin Shark Tank, Va Tuong Twa Dang Noi Kong Ai The Mua Thursday Ndc Du Dao. Va Ko Noi Twa Se Mua No Nai Bai Gio. Twa Se Nintin Cho Ko Kai Twa Vi Den Na. Chiu Muon Ham Du. Bilva Harris Dang Goi Tren Bac Them Truok Hien Na. Tiang Hovang Tu Xa, Ven Con Vong Lai Trong Ku Fo. Lam the Nao Ma Con Lai Tut How So Voi 6 Tri Qua Bomio Du Tuoi Qua Con Chai. Harris Hoi. Zhang De Su Lo Lang Tuk Su. Du Ko Vi Lai Mo Ti Ka Hoi Nium Tu Va Bo Tuk Su Muon Jup Con. Bill Noi. In Hung Bo De Fi Fa O Loi Di Veo Na Kai Bo O Du Tuoi Qua Con. Bo De Tam Gia Fong Treo Rage Against the Machine Va Ko Gang Sua. Chua the Gioi, Con Beat Kong? Bo De Bu Tin Doi Tuk and Thuan Che Trong Nan Va Bo De Chong Lai Vi Cat, Bo Fan Sin Duk Nu. Oh, Ai Ung Ho Chien Du The? Bill Hoi. Bo Se Cho Con Mot Goi Y. Kong Phi Fu Nu Dao, Bill Traloy. La Dan Ong, Dung Kong Bo. And Hung Du Kong Phi La Y Qua Bo. Y Bo La. Kong the Lam Bat Cu Ju Gi Trong, So Du Vi Con Phi Lam Vik. Bodon Bo Ko the Ngung Teat, Kim Cho Vi Kok Dai Ha Qua Mark. Ho Ko Lu Ngung Tra Tien Cho Na Sai. Va Mot Kai No Beat Min Kong Duok Di Hok Dai Hok. No Kung Chong Ko Gi Demi Mim Nua Dao. Oh, hey Cu De Ban Than Min Thoi My D, Bill Noi. Con Beat How Het Tre M, Du Kong Duok Di Butin Ma. Phi. Mot So Du A Tre Tuk Su Phi Lam Vik Trong and Hung Namai, Sin Zut Dien Thoida, and Hung Du A Tre Kok Ko the Timare, Thoi John Chung Duok, Cho La Phi Ko Mat Tai Bui Butin. Oh, do that Nong Ne, Harris Lam Bam. Cam On Bo. Duok Roy, Con Phi Di Bao Mi Darlene Rang Mi 5 E Na Thoi. Tai Namai Wellman. Mot Nam Tsong, Nindang, Tu Tap Trong Van Fong Chin. Chung Ta Ko by Duri Vik Vi Cu the Bo Du Tsong Vik Kong. Mot Tsong, Nin Hoi De Lo Lang. Nai, Kong Dao Nu Tat Ca Chung Ta Kung Don Ket, Darlene Het Len. De La Noi Ho Din Tu Kien, by Kim Travaho Kong the Lam, Du Nu Chung Ta Tu Choi Roy Di. Jackie Buik Veo, Te Cam Mot Tam Bien Bang Bia Com. Ko Tam Chi Con Chong Lam Vik, O De Nua. Becky Nen Zet. Twa Muon Thwak Vemot, Thursday Gi Du. De Twa Yen. Jackie Het Lai. Twa Theon Voi Vik, Butin Vi Kong Ai, Thay Bong Hoa Qua Twanagwai Tru Chong Twa. Cam on vita fa hong and hung bong hoa trong mat toi. Carla. Mot dong eng geep lam bam. Duok roy. Toi chua bao geo lam vik nai truok day. Becky noi voi dam dong. And hung toi beat nu chung ta siuo lai day. Vik sin zud esi, e by din tre va ho fi dam fan voi chung ta. Chuyen gi dang zaretha? Mot, nin vien and nin hoi kai buk veo fong. Chung ta kong the ko nu nuoi o day kung mot luke trong noi john dike, ben the nai va esi, kon nu nuoi nua den. On heavy bao voi sep kwamen. Kong kim trauma tui ko jiam sat. Ti kong kon butin nua, Becky yuka. Twice noi voi ho, nuoi bao vi noi. In hung siu de kak ban beat la twice quay li voi nu nin vien and nin han day. Dung da ong ta kio chung ta di de dong nu vei. Bill het len. Tat ca moi nu je nam suong san. Day locking siu Thursday dong. Gani de lam ju nai. Twada zem bo fim du. Ong I de kong lam ju du trong fong tam dao bill. Judy noi them kai tat ca ho kung goi suong. Darlene di veo ku tre butin. Te cam mot cheek tu a jiri na. Nai. Cam on me rat nu vita mang. Cho con mat na fong doc. Mi dang lam ji either? Du la bua trua. Harris noi. Nin veo cheek tu a. Con beat ma. Geo con li mot na catch mang roy. Con kong the demi mang bua trua cho con duok. Cha. Con ko trung ka muoi trong du dao nu du la ju con lo lang. Darlene noi. Nay nai. Mi beat lami de kuyen kich con lam du nai. Vami rat tu how vi he con vida ra nguai nai va dan, then v Thursday gi, du con tin tuong. And hung. Con ko and hung dao mi. Harrison gat loy. Vami gita din luke con fi quay li lam vik roy. Darlene ket tuk. Conda noi voi mi la con kong the lam the ma. Harris kang kang. Duok roy. Nu con kong dong gop tien thu na. Ti kuok bu tin chia esi, su jiao ko qua con o day esi ton chia si, ichik luno du voi and hung nuoi con li trong jia din de.